Hey guys, it's Aaron, and it's time for another devotion. And we got some good stuff for you this week. I'm excited about it, and without further ado, we're going to get into it. And I'm going to be starting us off this Monday morning, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Brother Aaron, and today's devotion is coming from John chapter 6, and it's a familiar passage. We've read about it, we've had it preached to us. It talks about the loaves and the fishes when Jesus fed the 5,000, and we talk about it a lot. Like I said, we've heard the messages preached, but I had preached a message sometime last year, and I wanted to kind of give you the brief version of that message. And then it talks about in this situation there was a child that actually carried the loaves and the fishes and gave those loaves and fishes up for those 5,000 to eat. And even though it seemed like a crazy idea that they would be able to feed so many people with so little food, I just want to read some scriptures here in John chapter 6. Jesus asked, actually in chapter 6 verse 5, it says, "When Jesus then lifted up his eyes and saw a great company come to him, he said unto Philip, Whence shall we buy bread that these may eat? And he said this to prove him, for he himself knew what he would do. Philip answered him, 200 pennyworth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto him, There is a lad here which has 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes, but what are they among so many? And Jesus said, Make the men sit down. So there was much grass in the place. So the men sat down, in the number about 5,000. And Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down, and likewise to the fishes as much as they would. When they were filled, he said to his disciples, Gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Therefore they gathered them together, and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. Then those men, when they had seen the miracle that Jesus did, said, This is of a truth that prophet should come into the world. So, just thinking about this scripture, thinking about the miracle in itself, it's awesome. But you know what it took? It took faith. I mean, Jesus knew what he was going to do, but it took faith of even though that child that had the 5 loaves and the fishes, the 2 fish. The message I preached last year was called Empty Your Basket. Sometimes we think what we've got, isn't good enough. I talked about in my message that, the fish might have been old and stinky. It might have been, the last of the bit that he could get, and that was probably all their food for some time for his family, and he was taking that food home. You could come up with any kind of scenario you could think of why this child had these 5 loaves and these 2 small fish. And it says 2 small fish, not just 2 fish, but 2 small fish, so they were, seemingly insignificant. And, you could talk about all the scenarios of what was going on, why that child had that food. But the fact is, that was their livelihood. That was their food for a few days, or we don't know how long it was, maybe for the evening. But at any rate, that was his. That was what God had blessed him with. And, in a sense, you could look at it and say, that child had to be willing to empty that basket, to give all of that food away. There was nowhere near enough food in the natural to feed all those people and all this, but that child knew something, that there was something special about Jesus, that he knew there was something special, and that Jesus wanted to do a miracle there. And for whatever reason, and it was faith is what the reason was. The reason was he had faith enough to know that Jesus was not just going to provide for all those people, but that Jesus was going to provide again for his family. And you look right there as the child give up the fish and the loaves, and Jesus blessed it and broke it, and everybody ate till they were full. They didn't just eat just a little bit; they ate till they were full. They were every person, all 5,000 people there, plus women and children. It actually says, were full from eating the loaves and the fishes. And after that, they were full. They gathered the fragments that remained over and above unto them that had eaten. So there was all the fragments and everything that was left over with the fish and the loaves. There were 12 baskets. Started out with 1 basket. That 1 basket fed over 5,000 people, and there were 12 baskets. That's 12-fold. That is 12 times as much as he started with. And it's so awesome, that not only was God able to provide, for all those people, but we don't really know what exactly happened to those 12 baskets. We don't know if they were sent home with the child, or what actually happened with those baskets. It doesn't really mention. But the thing about it is, it's just so awesome to think about that not only did he provide, but he also made an overflow. See, the thing about it is God is always more than enough for every need we have in our lives. He's always more than enough, for anything and everything that we've got going on. But what we have to understand is that we need to empty our basket. If we would empty ourselves, whatever God has placed in your hand, whatever weapons, whatever blessing, whatever God has given you, whatever talents, whatever it is, you give that to God. You give Him what He's given you. You give that up to Him to be used by Him, and He's going to bless it, and He's going to multiply it, and He's going to provide, and He's going to make a way. Whatever the needs may be, God is going to take care of these situations. It's so awesome to think about that, and think about if we would simply do that. And I know, and it seems simple, but it can be. We can make it difficult sometimes. But all we have to do is be willing to empty ourselves and give God back the things He's given us, and He will make a way in our lives. Thank y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and if you did, please like it and share it. Let people know what's going on, and we just want to hear from you. So if you have any comments, have any thoughts, let us know in the comments below, and y'all be blessed.